Hey, it's Carrie Flatla here for this week's Friday Fire at Remax Real Estate Lethbridge. The most common mistake homeowners make after their house goes on the market, and I've seen this for years and years, and we work with you very closely so that we don't do this when we list your home, is not adjusting to buyer expectations after you're on the market. And that can mean a lot of things. But not adjusting to buyer expectations quickly enough will cost you time and money on the market every single time. And it's the most common mistake homeowners make because it's human nature to anchor into a position and an expectation and not let go. Now, when we work with you prior to listing a home, we do a lot of market research. We know who our buyer is. We know where your home fits into the market in terms of pricing and range, but we cannot predict to the dollar what a house is going to sell for. If realtors could predict what a house was going to sell for every single time, I mean, we would be, investing in the stock market or something like that. So we can come close, but pricing is a process. And going to market is a process. So we do a lot of homework before we put your home on the market in terms of pricing research, what the market's doing. Are we in a buyer's market? Are we in a seller's market? Are you in a balanced part of the market? Because it's different for every part of Lethbridge and every price range. And of course, we want to make sure that your home shows 10 out of 10. And we do all of those things before the sign goes in the ground and before you hit realtor.ca. We make sure that you're also getting the most exposure possible. And by doing all of those things beforehand, then when you go to market, really now, you're waiting to see what the market says about your house. The best feedback is an offer, especially if you get an offer quickly, because that is your best buyer. And it's a fallacy to think if you get an offer quickly that you underpriced your home. Because if you underprice a home, you should actually get multiple offers, which will drive up the value. So if you get an offer quickly, don't necessarily jump to the conclusion that you underpriced your home. It means that a buyer responded the way we want the buyer to respond, with urgency. Now, if your home is sitting on the market for weeks on end, and yes, for the most part, Lethbridge is in a buyer's market. It is a softer market. We have approximately 7 months inventory across the city right now. But if your home starts to languish past that 30-day mark, and I've always said the magic is in the first 30 days, you have to adjust. Ideally, you adjust before 30 days because your greatest activity is the first couple weeks of a listing. And it's not just price. It's also what buyers are saying and seeing when they're in the home. And that's why asking for feedback and tracking showing activity is so, so important, right? And so we want to know what buyers or the realtors are thinking when they go through the house. Now, we can't always get feedback, but we should at minimum know how many showings and what that looks like. Sometimes it's just something to do with the way the house shows that we didn't anticipate and we can adjust for. And sometimes it is price. And so you have to make adjustments quickly to reflect what the buyers are expecting. Now, some folks think that they can be price leaders in the market, but you're one house, right? One house out of, say, 800 listings in the city of Lethbridge alone, let alone Coaldale, Colehurst, and across our board area in southern Alberta. So one homeowner doesn't get to set the market sets the market. And our job and your job is, when we go to market, is to position your home to be not just fair and reasonable, but you want to be super compelling in terms of what am I getting for the money. Because if I'm a buyer, I have dozens of other homes to choose from in West Lethbridge, North Lethbridge, South Lethbridge, in a particular price range. So your job and my job, we have to get you to the top of the list so that if only 10 houses this month are going to sell in your price range in West Lethbridge, we want you to be in the top 10. right? And so you have to adjust to what the market is telling you, because going to market is a process, right? And we want to hit that sweet spot with pricing so that we're not leaving money on the table, but so that buyers feel very excited when they walk into the home and they want to write an offer. That is your best buyer. So if you don't adjust quickly enough and you dig in and you're like, I'm going to hold on to my price, you're actually going to get less money later on for your home. Because the first thing that buyers ask when they walk into a house quite often is they look over at the realtor and they say, how long's it been on the market? And if the realtor says anything more than 30 to 60 days, the next question is, well, why hasn't it sold? It's either overpriced or there's something wrong with the home. So the biggest mistake homeowners make after they go to market is not adjusting to the market's expectations quickly enough. And the market will send you signals very quickly, usually within the first 2 to 3 weeks. So that's why going to market and having constant communication with your realtor is absolutely key to a quick sale for the most money with the least amount of hassle. Call if you have any questions, 382-7335, and we will see you next week for Friday Fire. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.